And, well, I'm not sure what they're going to put up here next. But anyways, it's good seeing you here. My name's Robbie O'Spoon out in Dublin, Ontario. And hope you have a good show.
There's a goal that everyone remembers. It was back in old 72. We all squeeze the stick, we all pull the trigger, and all I remember sitting beside you. You said you didn't give a fuck about hockey, and I never saw someone say that before. You held my hand and we walked home a long way. You were loosening my grip on Bobby Orr. Isn't it amazing anything's accomplished when the little sensation gets in your way? Not one ambition whispering over your shoulder. Is it amazing you can do anything? We hung out together every single moment, 'cause that's what we thought married people do. Complete with the grip of artificial chaos and believing in the country of me and you. A crisis of faith and crisis in the Kremlin, and yeah, we heard all that before. It's winter time, the house of solitude with options, loosening the grip of a fake Cold War. Isn't it amazing what you can accomplish when you don't let the nation get in your way? No ambition whispering over your shoulder. Isn't it amazing you can do anything? Next to your comrades in the National Fitness Program, caught in some eternal flexed arm hang, dropping to the mat in a fit of laughter, showed no patience, tolerance, or restraint. Fireworks exploding in the distance, temporary towers soar. Fireworks emulating heaven till there are no stars no more. Fireworks aiming straight at heaven, temporary towers soar till there are no stars shining up in heaven, until there are no stars no more. Isn't it amazing what you can accomplish when the little sensation gets in your way? No ambition whispering over your shoulder. Isn't it amazing what you can accomplish? This one thing never goes away. I think this one thing's always supposed to stay. This one thing doesn't have to go away. Live from my basement, it's a Hip Tuesday Live. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm performing here tonight on the traditional territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. And for those of you tuning from outside of Canada, and perhaps even a few Canadians, you may not have heard the news of the discovery of a mass grave of Indigenous children at the British Columbia Residential School. Gordon Downey, who's the late leader of the band we're celebrating tonight, the Tragically Hip, was an advocate for better relationships between settlers and the Indigenous peoples we displaced and in many cases eradicated from the land. One of his last projects before he passed away tragically at a young age from brain cancer was sharing the story of Cheney Wenjack, a young Indigenous boy who died trying to escape from a residential school to return home to his family. Gord's quoted as saying, "The next 100 years are going to be painful as we come to know Cheney Wenjack and thousands like him as we find out about ourselves, about all of us. But only when we do can we truly call ourselves Canada." It would seem appropriate to make this acknowledgement tonight and encourage you, wherever you are, to take positive and compassionate action. Learn more about how Indigenous people have and are being treated in Canada. Listen to Indigenous voices. And write your Member of Parliament and demand that we wait no longer to address these issues and as settlers find a path to a loving and compassionate relationship with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. There's much we can learn about this land from them if we just listen. Well, tonight we celebrate the Tragically Hip, or the Hip, as they're known to most. They were a Canadian rock band formed in Kingston, Ontario in 1984, consisting of vocalist Gord Downey, guitarist Paul Langlois, guitarist Rob Baker, bassist Gord Sinclair, and drummer Johnny Fay. They played their last concert as a band in their hometown of Kingston on August 20th, 2016, which was kind of a Canadian national event. I'm sure many of you out there from Canada certainly watched that and remember that concert. Hard to believe it's almost 5 years ago now. Gord Downey died in October of the following year. Tonight on the show, we have a great lineup of entertainment, playing some hip tunes, or at least their interpretation of hip tunes. We have the Bokays, Sandy Mackay, one of our Tuesday Live favorites, Waxxie's here tonight as well, Rob Dylan, Neil Old, Robbie O'Spoon, and of course Cousin Willy Witherspoon. And in addition to all of that, we have another set of Stan McRae's Amazing Nature images, so that's fantastic too. But let's get the show going. We got a lot of music to get through tonight. Looking forward to it. And let's see what Willy's cooking up out in the shed. Hey, Willy.
Hey y'all, Willy here again. Good to see you this week. Hope everybody's had a good week. I've had a pretty good week, but boy, it got cold on the weekend there. Woo! Not used to this kind of cold back home in North South Carolina. At the end of May, end of May, start June, don't get this cold down home, but a little we're going to lose our tomatoes. But we're okay. Got through it okay, I think. But I'm going to do some Tragically Hip tonight, I guess. I didn't know much about the band, but I found a couple of their songs sound kind of ones I could willify a bit. So here we're going to go. This one's called Boots or Hearts. Well, I think that there's a problem here. Her voice just don't sound right. I left myself on her answering machine and said I'm back in town tonight. I feel I've stepped out of the wilderness, all squint-eyed and confused. But even babies raised by wolves, they know exactly when they've been used. When it starts to fall apart, it really falls apart. Like boots or hearts, so when they start, they really fall apart. Well, a lot of noisy machinery out there today, let me tell you. Fingers and toes, 40 things we share. But 41 if you include the fact that we don't care. Now you blocked off most of Main Street for your fake parade. Now everyone in town, now they probably all agree I'm lying in the bed I made. So when it starts to fall apart, it really falls apart. Like boots or hearts, when they start, they really fall apart. Talk to you, we got some air to clear. We probably only agree on one thing anyway, and what the hell is happening here? Fingers and toes, 40 things we share. 41
Well, thanks for kicking that off, Willie. That was a great sort of a countrified version, willified version, I guess you called it, of Boots or Hearts. Loved that. If you haven't checked in yet, folks, check in, say hello, let us know where you're coming in from. I know we got some new folks here. I saw Joan from up Lunenburg Way. Great to see you here, Joan. Welcome. And Brian Landry from up North Bay. I think Brian's been here before, but good to see you here, Brian. I see Lee's checked in from Lancaster, New York. We've got Emily and Christian in here as well, and Danny from up on the Bruce, and David up from, I think, Finland Falls Way, and Chris just outside St. Ratford, as Robbie likes to call it, and Kathy and Dwight up in the cottage country there, and Bill and Sandy down in Niagara, and Tim right here in the greater KW area. And I saw a little earlier there, I saw Corey was on here as well. So good to see you too, Corey. And we're going to head way out east to our good friend and Tuesday Live regular contributor, Sandy McRae, who's done some getting into the Tragically Hip playlist, our song list this week, and it's got some great songs for us. Here's the first. Sandy.
Watch the band through a bunch of dancers quickly from the unknown. Something more familiar. Quickly, something familiar. Courage, my word, didn't come, it doesn't matter. Sleepwalk, so fast asleep in a motel that has the layer of home. This on all your background. This on all your surroundings. Courage, my word, didn't come, it doesn't matter. Courage, your word, didn't come, it doesn't matter. Courage, my word, didn't come, it doesn't matter. Courage couldn't come at a worse time. There's no simple explanation for anything important any of us do. Yeah, the human tragedy consists in the necessity of living with the consequence under pressure, under pressure. Courage, my word, it didn't come, it doesn't matter. Courage, my word, didn't come, it doesn't matter. Courage, your word, it didn't come, it doesn't matter. Courage couldn't come at a worse time. Couldn't come at a worse time. Couldn't come at a worse time. Come at a worse time.
Thanks so much for that, Sandy. A great rendition of that song. It's always a bit of a challenge taking these songs that are done by a two-guitar rock band with a good drum beat and bass and convert them into an acoustic song, but a lot of fun doing it. And we're going to be doing a lot of it tonight. So if you're enjoying the show, folks, share it onto your timeline. You'll get your friends who are, still crying a little bit, still a little concerned about that big loss last night, the Leaf fans, and out looking at all the memes and stuff on Facebook. Get their minds away from it, and we'll playing some great Canadian music tonight of the Tragically Hip. And this is one of my favorite hip songs called 38 Years Old. Man broke loose in 73 from Millhaven Maximum Security. 12 pictures lined up across the front page. Seems the Mounties had a summertime war to wage. Chief told the people they had nothing to fear, but the last thing they'd want to do is hang around here. They must have came from towns with long French names, but one of the dozen was a hometown shame. Same pattern on the table, same clock on the wall. I've been one seat empty, 18 years in all. Freezing slow time away from the world. He's 38 years old, never kissed a girl. 38 years old, never kissed a girl. Sitting at the table, heard the telephone ring. Father said he'd tell him if he saw anything. Heard a tap on the window in the middle of the night. Held back the curtains for my older brother Mike. See, my sister got raped, so a man got killed. Local boy went to prison, man was buried on the hill. Folks went back to normal when they closed the case, but they still are at their shoes when they pass our place. Cried, the horse finally ceased. He whispered, yeah, for the time being at least. And over his shoulder on the squad car megaphone said, let's go, Michael, son, we're taking you home. Same pattern on the table, same clock on the wall. Been one seat empty, 18 years in all. Freezing slow time away from the world. He's 38 years old, never kissed a girl. He's 38 years old, never kissed a girl. He's 38 years old, never kissed 38 years old. Last week on the show, we had a new performer we hadn't seen before, Rob Dylan, Bob Dylan's younger brother, and a really positive response from the audience. In fact, some people were actually calling him the next Dylan, which I think probably fits with Rob Dylan. But anyways, I think Rob's got a hip song for us tonight. So let's see what Rob's been up to over in the Beatles tribute.
How does it feel?
Well, Rob, thank you so much for having me back on the show. I really enjoyed playing last week, playing some of my brother Bob's songs. And, well, I do enjoy my work as a spiritual advisor to trees, and certainly going to keep that up. But it's nice to be back into the music, too. And, I got a letter from my brother. I hadn't heard from him for years and years, and sent me a letter. It's a cease and desist letter. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's nice to hear from him anyways. But I'm glad to be doing some Tragically Hip for you this week. And I thought, well, I love that band, and one of their songs they've done is my favorite. And, us Dylans like it because we're poets. It's called Poets, so I'm going to give it a shot. Here we go. Spring starts when a heartbeat's pounding, when the birds can be heard above the reckoning carts doing some final accounting. Lava flow in Super Farmer's direction. He's been getting reprieve from the heat in the frozen food section. Oh yeah. Don't tell me what the poets are doing. Don't tell me that they're talking tough. Don't tell me that they're antisocial. Somehow not antisocial enough, alright. Porn speaks to its splintered legions, to the pink amid the withered corn stalks in them winter regions. Oh yeah. Well, aiming at the archetype of father, he said with such broad and tentative swipes, why do you even bother? Oh yeah. Don't tell me what the poets are doing, those Himalayas of the mind. But don't tell me what the poets been doing in the long grasses over time. Tell me what the poets are doing on the street in the epitome of age. Don't tell me how the universe is altered when you find out how he gets paid, alright. If there's nothing more than you need now, the lawn cut by a bare-breasted woman, the beach bleach tells within reach for the woman. Gotta make it, that'll make it by swimming.
Well, thank you for that song, Rob Dylan. Interesting rendition of Poets. Great tune. And sort of a Dylan-esque version of it there. I see Bob Curry's checked in from up in Gravenhurst. Great to see you, Bob. And love to see the Curry brothers back on the show again. Bet Smith, love that music from up Gravenhurst Way, and love that group. Check them out if you haven't checked them out. Bet Smith and the Curry Brothers, fantastic performers. I've had them on the show several times and hope to have them on again. And speaking of great performers, we've got a band we've had on before, I think once, and called the Bokays. And I'm going to turn it over to them. I think you'll recognize at least one of them.
Everybody, it's Sandy and
Sarah.
and we're the Bokays when we're not our normal people.
And sometimes when we're normal people.
You'll recognize this tune.
First thing we climb a tree, and then maybe we talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts. Illusions of someday, cast in a golden light, no dress rehearsal. This is our life. That's where the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoke them out. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. Stare in the morning shroud, and then the day began. I tilted your cloud, you tilted my hand. Rain fell in real time, rain fell through the night. No dress rehearsal. This is our life. That's when the hornet stung me, and I had a serious dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we'll smoke them out. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. And disappointing you's getting me down. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. And disappointing you is getting me down.
She must have stepped in hot dogs.
Fantastic, Sandy and Zara. The Bokays, Bokays. They have a CD out they put out, I think it was late last year, of Randy Sutherland, great songwriter and musician from Guelph area. They put out a CD of his tunes, so check that out. It's I'm going to put a link up. I'm not sure if they're up on the tuesdaylive.ca artist page, but there will be shortly, or you can just Google them, the Bokays, and check that out. That'd be fantastic. Thanks for that rendition song. Great tune. And I saw earlier, checking in our good friend Stan McRae from Eastern Ontario, and as most of you know if you've been following the show for any length of time, Brian has kind of become our resident photographer, and Brian and his wife Susie go out in the wilds of Eastern Ontario, mostly around the Long Sault Provincial Park, the parkway there, beautiful spot along the St. Lawrence River, and through the woods there as well, and just to pick up these amazing images of, amazing images in general, but certainly amazing images of wildlife. And Stan's got another set to share with us tonight, so let's check them out. Those fantastic pictures, Stan. Amazing, as always. Send the song up to all our friends up in the Bokays and Fenland Falls area. It's one of my favorite Tragically Hip songs to play around a campfire on the edge of the lake. Left your house this morning about 9:15. Could have been the Willy Nelson, could have been the wine. When I left your house this morning, was a little after 9. It was in Bokays. I saw the constellation reveal themselves one star at a time. Back to town this morning, working on my mind. I thought I may be quitting, leaving it behind. Went back to bed this morning, and as I'm pulling down the blind, the sky was dull and hypothetical and falling one cloud at a time. That night in Toronto, with those checkerboard floors, riding on horseback and keeping order restored till the man they couldn't hang stepped to the mic and sang, and their voices rang with that Aryan twang. To your house this morning, it's just a little after 9. In the middle of that riot, couldn't get you off my mind. So I'm at your house this morning. Was a quarter after 9. It was in Bokays. I saw the consolation reveal themselves one star at a time. Reveal themselves one star at a time. Bob Cajun. Home of Quarth ice cream, too. Ooh, I love that. Let's head back out east. Sandy's got another one for us.
Here we go. More of the Tragically Hip banjo. I love doing this because it helps you get into a band's catalog and find stuff you didn't know or knew sort of, and delve into the lyrics. This song is called Scared, and I don't know, maybe he's talking to death. I don't know. Maybe he's talking about a movie. I don't know. It's called Scared. I could make you scared if you want me to. I'm not prepared, but if I have to, he said I can make you scared. It's kind of what I do, and if you're prepared, here's what I propose to do. You're in Russia, more than 1,000,000 works of art. We're whisked out in the woods, and when the Nazis come and find the whole place dark, they'll think that God's left the museum for good. I can make you scared. That's what I have to do. You're prepared, and if I have to, I can make you scared. And you pay me to, and that's the deal. Here's what I can do for you. There's a focus group that can prove this is all nothing, cold calculation. have shown that the suspicious are hostile. Our lives need not be shortened. Truth be told, they can live a long, long while. Tickled to death by our own importance. If you can make me scared, if that's what you do, if I'm unclear, can I get out of this thing between me and you? If you feel scared and a little bit confused, I've gotta say this sounds beyond anything that I'm used to. There's a precious few at the root. This is nothing but cold calculation. You're clearly entranced. You're leaning back now. Defang destroyer leaps into the bay. Down at the beach, it's attracting quite a crowd, and the kids wade out through the blood out to play. Okay, you made me scared. You did what you set out to do, and I'm not prepared. You really had me going there for a minute or two. You said you make me scared too. I wasn't sure I was getting through to you, and I got to go. Been a pleasure doing business with you. Scared. If you want me to, I'm not prepared. But if I have to, said I can make you scared. It's kind of what I do. And if you're prepared, here's what I propose to do.
Fantastic job with that little bit of flailin' banjo hip. I probably haven't heard much hip music played on banjo, but Sandy's doing a fantastic job with it, and I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, I sort of see maybe a banjo hip album coming out from Sandy sometime. That might be fun. But I just want to say hello. I saw Hetty check in there, and I see you here again, Hetty. I know you've been here before, and Karen as well. Nice checking in, and my old friend Kathy's here, and my favorite sister Mary I saw popping up in the comments too. Good to have everybody here tonight, and everybody else who's out there who's not checking into the comments. Great to have you here, and hope you're enjoying the show. And if you like it, share it on your timeline if you're on Facebook, or like and subscribe on YouTube, all that sort of stuff. We love having you here, and we're just going to keep this show rolling as long as we can. Not this particular show. We're going to stop it at some point, but the Tuesday live show, we're episode 64 now. Quite exciting that we just keep going Tuesday to Tuesday, and still having a great time doing it, and hope you're enjoying it as well. Let your friends know. More the merrier. And speaking of friends, we've got a new friend of mine that I met through the pandemic when he came here quite early on. He actually was on the very first Tuesday live show, hosted it. That Irish fella, Robbie O'Spoon, came over from Ireland and got kind of trapped over here by the pandemic. Now, it's a long story, but he ended up in Dublin, Ontario, where he's, hilling the potatoes and swilling the pigs. And I told him about Tragically Hip, and he looked a little confused, but I hope he's figured it out. He's a pretty resourceful fella. So let's see what maybe Robbie has got for us tonight.
Oh, hello everybody out there in internet land. It's Robbie O'Spoon here in Dublin, Ontario, just having a grand old time, just, swilling the pigs and hilling me potatoes. Well, I was a little worried there. We had a bit of a frost threat the other day. I don't know if you've had that yourself wherever you are, but we had a bit of a danger of frost, but luckily my potatoes didn't get frosted. That would have set them back quite a bit, but the tomatoes didn't like it too much, and well, the basil doesn't like the heat at all. I guess it's from Italy or something. I'm not sure where basil's from, but I didn't like the heat. The basil looked a little rough that morning after that cold we had, but I don't know. I kind of like it, temperature in the middle, not the low and not the high all the time you get here in Canada. But, well, what can I do? I'm going to head home soon. I hope I miss me ma, miss me pigs and everything else there. But, I got my first jab last week, as you know, and I'm hoping to get me a second jab. So maybe when the potatoes are starting to get ready, I'll be able to dig a few potatoes and bring them home. But, well, I guess I better not do that. Might bring the plague back into the potato blight back into Ireland. That would be a terrible thing. Of such a terrible time back home. But anyways, Rob asked me, said we're doing some Tragically Hip this week. Could you do one for us, Robbie? And I thought, well, I've never heard of the Tragically Hip. I thought, why would a band name themselves after, is that like a failed hip surgery or something? I thought, well, that can't be right. And I went to listen to their music, and, well, they're actually quite hip. I thought they were quite hip, not tragically hip at all. Although certainly tragic, they lost their lead singer. That's very sad, but they're not tragically hip. They're very hip, much more hipper than a fella from Ireland, let me tell you. An old fella like me just sort of strums on his guitar and, crackles out a few words when he can. If he hasn't had too much Guinness or whatever. Actually, I sing a little better when I have a few Guinness in me. But anyways, I thought, well, I can do a hip song. I guess I'll give her a go. I'm going to lose my voice here, but I better get singing before I lose my voice. But anyways, I'm going to give it a shot at the long time running, so I hope I don't mess it up too badly for the folks who actually know how it properly goes. Does your mother tell you things long, long when I'm gone? Or who you talking to? She telling you I'm the one. It's a grave mistake, and I'm wide awake. The drive-ins rained out, weatherman wet fingers the sky. He pokes it out, he pulls it in, he don't know why. It's the same mistake, and it's been a long time running. It's been a long time coming. Oh, but it's well worth the wait. We don't go anywhere, we're just on trips. We haven't seen a thing, we still don't know where it is. It's a safe mistake, and it's been a long time running. And it's been a long time coming. Well, it's the same mistake, dead to rights and wide awake. I'll drop a caribou, I'll tell on you, I'll tell on you. You got a boatload of nerve, but I would say that you've been told you work against me and my friend, and you'll get left out in the cold. It's the same mistake, and it's been a long time running. And it's been a long time coming. Yes, it's been a long time running, but it's well worth the wait. 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 It's well worth the wait.
Well, Robbie, I'm very impressed. That was quite an emotional version of that song. I quite enjoyed that. In fact, Sandy McKay and I were talking about that, how doing this Tragically Hip. There's a lot of emotion tied around these songs now, particularly with the loss of Gord Downey and that whole process. Watching a band go through that, their final tour, and brought back memories of losing. Sandy and I had a good friend and bandmate, Dave Duke, that we lost. Kind of brought back memories of that. It was kind of it's kind of interesting when you dig into some of these the memories that music pulls up. Anyways, thanks for that, Robbie. I'm going to send it out to the shed and see what Willy's cooking up there. Maybe he's got another hip song for us tonight. I hope he does.
Hey y'all, Willy here again. Just up in the shed, working on some Tragically Hip tunes. It's another one I learned. It's a good one. It's called When You Blow at High Dough. Shot a movie once in my hometown. Everybody was in it from miles around. Out at the speedway, some kind of Elvis thing. Well, I ain't no movie star, but I can get behind anything. Get behind anything. Get it out, oh, get it all out. Yeah, stretch that thing. Oh, make it last, oh, make it last, at least until the supper bell rings. Well, the taxi driver, like his rhythm, well, never likes the star. Throws a passion, throws a passion. Something just threw him off. Sometimes the faster it gets, the less you need to know. But you gotta remember, the smarter it gets, the farther it's gonna go when you blow it high dough. When you blow it high dough. Oh baby, I feel fine. I'm pretty sure it's a genuine. Makes no sense, hell, it makes no sense, but I'll take it free anytime. Whoever fits her usually gets her. It was the strangest thing, how she moved so fast into that wedding ring. Oh, sometimes the faster it gets, the less you need to know. But you gotta remember, the smarter it gets, the further it's gonna go when you blow it high dough. When you blow it high dough. Out at the speedway, the same Elvis thing. Well, I can't catch her, but I can get behind anything. Yeah, I can get behind anything. There a rabbit out there? God dang rabbits!
Well, thank you, Willy, for contributing to the show tonight and throwing in a couple great hip tunes. I really enjoyed that. Really like what you did with the blowing high dough tune, and also keeping rabbits out of the garden too, because boy, they're causing a lot of damage out there. So glad we got Willy out there, chase them away. Let's head back east. I think Sandy McKay's got one more hip song for us. Let's see what Sandy's got.
Hey, I just learned this song a few days ago. I just learned about it a few days ago. I was looking through the Hip discography and found this title and thought, I like that title. I don't know this song. And maybe you already knew it. It's called Speed River. And I particularly like that because I grew up near the Speed River, and maybe you did too. And it's a song I don't know very well. So if I mess it up, that's just the way that it goes now for me.
Let's go forward. Speed River, take me away. Speed River, take me away. Speed River, take me away. Away from this. Away this minute. This house sounds like a bomb just hit it. It's an old sound that says, if you ask me, I would relive it. Speed River, take me away. Speed River, take me away. Speed River, take me away. Away from this. Away from this. Away this minute, away from this moment, away from this feeling, I'm feeling this way. Hey, I just learned this song a few days ago. I just learned about it a few days ago. I was looking through the Hip discography and found this title and thought, I like that title. I don't know this song. And maybe you already knew it. It's called Speed River. And I particularly like that because I grew up near the Speed River, and maybe you did too. And it's a song I don't know very well. So if I mess it up, that's just the way that it goes now for me. You're visually stunning, I'm almost shivering. You become anyone, don't hate who you have to be. Speed River, take me away. Speed River, take me away.
enough. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Away from this. Away from this. Awake enough. This feels like I've been here before. You said don't be tough. Let's go back. I said let's go forward. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Away from this. Away this minute. This house sounds like a bomb just hit it. It's an old sound that says if you ask me I would relive it. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Away from this. Away from this. Away this minute. Away from this moment. Away from this feeling. I'm feeling this way. Away from this moment. Away from this feeling. I'm feeling this. Away. You're visually stunning. I'm almost shivering. You've become anyone. Don't hate who you have to be. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away. Sweet river, take me away.
Well, we had a little technical issue there, folks. I think we lost a lot of people too, unfortunately. I tried to get back into Facebook and try to share it out so people know we're back on the air. We had a connectivity issue and lost our stream there in the middle of Sandy singing, which is very depressing to do that. And we got Joan's back here. Great, Ron. Nice to be back here. Nice. Thanks for folks. I'm not sure if people lost the connection completely. I tried to go live right after I realized it had kicked me out, so I kind of jumped back in. But hopefully folks will come back on. If not, we'll piece it together and repost it anyways, because we've still got a bit of show left here. Don't want to give up yet, because we have one of our favorite performers coming on right now, and I see we got Ron in here from, and there's the man himself. Waxxie's checked in. Waxxie, good to see you. We've got Waxxie coming up right now. And I'm going to just wait a couple minutes. I'm just trying to kill a little bit of time, make sure we get enough people back in before we run Waxxie. But, well, I'm going to bring Waxxie on anyway. He's got a great Tragically Hip song, folks. I think you're going to enjoy this. Mom, I hope you got back on, because I know Mom kicked off. I'm going to hear about it, that's for sure. But anyways, here's Waxxie.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. September 17th, for a girl I know it's Mother's Day. Her son is gonna leave, and that's where he will stay. Wind on a weather vane, tearing blue-eyed sailor maid, as Falstaff sings a sorrowful refrain for a boy in Fiddler's Green. His tiny knotted heart, well, I guess it never worked too good. The timber tore apart, and the water gorged the wood. You can hear her whispered prayer for men at mast that always lean. The same wind that moves her hair moves a boy through Fiddler's Green. He doesn't know a soul. There's nowhere that he's really been, but he won't travel on alone. No, not in Fiddler's Green. Balloons all filled with rain, as children's eyes turn sleepy mean, and Falstaff sings a sorrowful refrain for a boy in Fiddler's Green.
Waxxie, that was fantastic. But if you didn't feel that in your heart, I don't think you have one. What an amazing rendition of that song. I'm sorry that we lost the stream there, and I'm not sure how many people got back in to watch it, but we'll certainly. I know Waxxie's going to post that recording up on his page, and we'll share the heck out of it. And if you get it, you see it up there, share it. And let's get that song out there, because that's an amazing rendition of that song. Thank you so much, Waxxie, for pulling that together. That big guild guitar just ringing, and the Waxxie Choral Society gathering there, and the bowed bass, just amazing, fantastic, Waxxie. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we've got another. I think it's going to be our last guest performer here on the show tonight. Is speaking of hearts, and the Heart of Gold man himself, probably the greatest Neil Young tribute artist of our generation. He's waiting over here in the Beatles tribute room to do a hip song for us tonight. It's Neil Old.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here for this Tragically Hip tribute. One of my favorite Canadian bands of all time. And it was so tragic that they lost Gord, such a good songwriter and singer. But I'm going to do one of their songs. This is my favorite Tragically Hip song, because, I'm a bit of a prairie boy myself. So. Sundown in the Paris of the prairies, wheat canes of all their treasures buried, and all you hear are the rusty breezes blown around the weather vane, Jesus. In a Zippo lighter, he sees a killer's face. Or maybe it's someone standing in a killer's place. 20 years for nothing, well, that's nothing new. Besides, no one's interested in something you didn't do. And pretty things, let's just see what the morning brings. There's a dream he dreams where the high school is dead and stark. It's a museum and we're all locked up in it after dark. The walls are lined all yellow, gray and sinister, hung with pictures of our parents, prime ministers. We kings and pretty things. Wait and see what tomorrow brings. Late-breaking story on the CBC.
A nation whispers, we always thought that he'd go free. And you can't be fond of living in the past, 'cause if you are, then you know that you're never gonna last. Sweet kings and pretty things, let's just see what tomorrow brings. We kings and pretty things, oh, that's what tomorrow brings. Well, thank you for that, Neil Old. Fantastic rendition of that song. And thank you, Carolyn Wayne, for the kind comment there as well. And thanks everybody who participated in tonight's show. Stan McRae for his always amazing photos. The Bokays, Sandy Mackay, Waxxie. And thank you to Waxxie for those kind words about doing that song. Fantastic. He just blew it out, hit it out of the park, as they say. Amazing rendition of Fiddler's Green. Love that. And the next Dylan, we're calling him around here, Rob Dylan. And Robbie O'Spoon and Willy, and of course our last performer there, the greatest Neil Young tribute artist of our generation, Neil Old. You can check out all of our featured artists at tuesdaylive.ca, and you get links to all of their websites or the YouTube channels. You want to check out what they're up to. You can help support performers by becoming a Tuesday Live patron. For a small monthly contribution, you can help support the independent artists who appear on the show. And we've also set up a tip jar. If you want to just throw down something, you can put in there. If you want to send a tip to a specific performer, let us know as well. And speaking of Tuesday Live performers, Bob McLean, I tried to talk Bob McLean into doing a Celtic version of a Tragically Hip song for tonight, but I couldn't. He's been busy on another project of his own. He's doing it's called Four on the Floor Fridays, and it happens at 4 p.m. on Facebook. So check out Bob McLean on Facebook, and he'll be on this Friday at 4 o'clock. He's doing some great music there as well. Thanks to Karen Cantello and the entire Tuesday Live animation department for the fine work they do every week with our transitions and titles and things. And I know they're always working on some new things as well, so keep that in mind. My executive producer, Carol, for keeping this thing all together, and all the support she provides. And thank you so much for watching tonight. It's I know it was a bit of a challenge tonight. You had to jump over from when the stream kind of fell out there, a little bit of a technical issue. I have to check my internet connection. Usually it's pretty good, but I guess you're going to have these little glitches once in a while, and that's just the way it is. I'll piece it together, and anything that if you missed it, I guess if you missed it, you're probably not hearing me, but we'll make sure that music gets out and people can hear anything they might have missed. Hope we didn't lose too many folks. But anyways, come join us at the after party. We meet every week after the show for about half an hour or so on Zoom. A few folks check in there, so we'd love to have you there. Make some new friends, hang out with some old friends, whatever. And I'm always there, and we'd love to see you there too. And you can check all that out at tuesdaylive.ca. You can sign up if you're not a subscriber. Sign up for our email. You get an email with the Zoom link and everything else there. But anyways, if we don't see you tonight, we'll see you next week. We're going to keep this thing rolling just as long as we can. And love having you here. And hope we can be back here with us next week. Stay safe out there, folks. Thanks to the Hip for all the great music they shared with us. Make sure you check out the originals if you haven't. Everybody needs a place to go. And everybody needs some way to know that they're just loved. And why do we hurt the ones we love? Why don't we lift them up instead of putting them down and just love? 'Cause deep inside every one of us, there's something brighter than gold waiting to shine out. Keep it covered up with a layer of clay. You gotta start washing it off someday with just love. Only be here for a very short time, to lie in the sun and drink sweet wine and just love. It'll all be here and then be gone. Instead of harsh words and singing sad songs, let's just love. Deep inside every one of us, there's something brighter than gold waiting to shine out. We keep it covered up with a layer of clay. We gotta start washing it off someday with just love. Just gonna do, and if you join with me, well then we would make two. We need more giving, less taken away. If we start right now, we'll get there someday to just love. Find it in your heart if you look deep enough. You find the only thing that we really need now, it's just hard to just love in a world full of hate. If we get started now, it won't be too late to just love. 'Cause deep inside every one of us, there's something brighter than gold waiting to shine out. We keep it covered up with a layer of clay. We gotta start washing it off someday with just love. Just love, just love, just love, just love, just love.